Hey, I'm KIC. This is after the collapse from Anarkis Gaming. Thank you for the key. We're using to play today. This game, if you are watching this video, should officially be on the Steam store. If not now, then sometime today, real time. This is a survival game, as you can kind of tell or may have guessed. And I'm going to get into a little bit more of the stuff as we go. But for right now, I'm just going to take a look at the map. We have chosen a city map. So that's why it looks like there are a bunch of buildings here. I mean, the look is kind of reminiscent a little of Rimworld, although the character sprites are quite a bit different. And, I don't know, it kind of grows on you a little bit. It's not my favorite, the look of the character sprites, but everything else is pretty cool. I mean, sure, maybe it might not be obvious that's a counter, but I mean, you can tell that's a cash register and that's a seat and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, we are in a city map, so we're going to need to figure out somewhere to go to basically start the base. I'm just kind of looking for a good-sized house that has a lot of room in it, and maybe I'm kind of liking the look of either this one right here where the cursor is, or this one over there, just because it has a lot of rooms and a lot of possibilities. We could also do something like right over here, maybe, or this one even, which has access to this area, and I think maybe we'll go right here. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of like take your pick. I'm looking for an area that's going to have access to some soil, dirt, etc. The reason for that is because we're going to need to do all the sorts of things you normally do in a survival game. So let's start off by doing a little zone building. So, as I said, this game, it kind of has a look of like Rimworld. So if you've ever played Rimworld, or if you've played Dwarf Fortress, or any of those kinds of games, you'll kind of have a general idea of how this operates. We need to set down a farm because, well, we're going to need to get some food and stuff going here. Oh man, that kind of needs to be mined out, and so does that. Well, let's start off by placing a zone. Now, placing a farming zone is going to allow our survivors to plant seeds, which will in turn allow us to grow a little bit of food. That would be kind of a good thing. We're going to start small. We're going to do... that's not what I meant to do. Wow, my bad. Can I... Well, whatever. It's fine. It's not... Here, let's remove that because that was dumb. I got to get used to how this one works. It's kind of like click and then drag and then click again. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do a small 15-sized farming zone, and then we're going to do a second one over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to go with that. Now, I should tell you off the bat here, I've changed a little bit of what we're doing in terms of the loadout of characters beforehand. This is also going to be a slightly tedious part of the game right here, in that there's no easy way to bring up everyone's stuff all at once that I have found. I mean, you can go into like some of this character stats page, and you can kind of sort by skills, which will help to let you know what you're kind of looking at, but it's not quite set up in a way that I want to see it just yet. But, I mean, it's good enough. It works for right now. I would imagine that this will change once there's been a little more time for things. We're going to go into our worst people here. Well, basically everyone except for the best people. And we're going to take them off of the jobs they're allowed to do. So we're going to remove you from farming, and that person is now no longer able to do farming. You can see they can't, because that's red. We're going to go to Letha, and we're going to remove farming from you. And much like Rimworld, you're going to find out that people can do some jobs and not others, and that's just kind of the way it is. Stacy, we're going to remove farming from your job duty. What we're doing here, just so you know, too, we're basically setting it up so that the only people who are allowed to do farming are the ones who are best at it. So Beulah, you're not one of the best at it. We're going to stop you from being able to farm. There's a lot of stuff we need to set up, so we're going to have to start talking about that in a moment. But whatever. Let's start right there with turning off who's doing farming and who isn't. So these two, the only ones who are allowed to do farming now are Maddie and Daryl. They are our best farmers. We want them planting seeds and basically preparing everything. So we're going to say... I don't know if that works like that. I think that should. And then we'll do that one too. There we go. So someone will start working on knocking that boulder out. We don't really need to do this. I'm just trying to clean up this spot. As I said, this is a survival game. This is a post-apocalyptic game, so that's kind of going to be your setting. You're going to get used to that as we see whatever weird crap happens. We are already at the midpoint of the day, and I am so behind on the things that I should be doing. We're not going to set up a kitchen just yet. We are going to set up a forge. You're going to want a forge because you need to make coal. Coal you need for a lot of things. And metal you do as well. Now, in this particular map, because we're in kind of the city setting where there are all these buildings, there's a lot of stuff that we can use from the city kind of in place of having things. But for right now, we're going to set up a forge right there, and I'm going to let them get to work on that. And then let's start clearing out the rest of this room. A lot of these things you cannot use that are lying here, so don't be afraid to get rid of them. And in some cases, it's going to be to your advantage to do so. Like an old fridge, kitchen shelves, those might have food in them. They're worth it to get rid of. We're going to set up another forge. The reason for that is because we're basically going to have one forge for wood, or one forge for coal, and one forge for metal. We're also going to need to set up some storage at some point. You'll see that we have storage over here. We can bring up the inventory. All of the stuff we started with here, lots of meals, lots of food, lots of potato seeds. A lot of these things I changed. Well, some of them I changed. You only normally start with 20 potato seeds. I decided we wanted more. You normally start with like 20 meals. I decided we needed more. You normally start with 20 water. You get the point. I decided we needed more. Now, I don't know why anyone is not building over here, and I'm not sure who should be doing that, but it seems like someone should be taking care of it. And I don't know if it's because that storage space is all used and they're not... I don't know. There are some things I still don't quite understand why that is the case. We're going to go over to the utility side, and now it's time to put down a rain collector. This is how you're going to get water in the early game. You need one of these. And then you also need a campfire, which we have that over here. You have to have these things. They are an absolute requirement. You are building that guy. Why is no one building... You're going to finish the job, aren't you? 3. I don't know why they're only doing a bit at a time. That's kind of silly. But I don't know why no one is working on that. That's what I find perplexing. I don't have a good answer for that one. Look at that. You now have way more wood than you need to. That... You guys, you blow my mind. I don't understand why you did that. And yet, no one wants to bring any wood or any stone over there. And I'm fairly certain, if we go into the inventory, we have wood, we don't have stone. But they should be able to take the stone over there. All right. Well, if that's the case, then let's do this. Let's go ahead and queue up a couple of these guys. And then we're going to make some storage just because we need to do that anyway. So here, you guys go work on that. And in the meantime, let's queue up some storage, which... should only take wood, so I think you should be okay with that. These storage boxes in particular are free of charge, so they're not a big deal to make. I should mention, or rather I should reiterate, that these early things that you find in the buildings, you can get rid of them. I realize there's a bed right there, and we haven't placed any beds for the people yet. We're going to get around to that momentarily. I'm just taking my sweet time. It's only 11 o'clock. But they're not going to use that stuff, so just get rid of it. There's no need to have it. We need to put down some sleeping bags, so we're going to do that. Let's pop you down right there. We're going to need 8 of these, of course, because we have 8 people, obviously, so you got to have one for each one. The game's going to auto-save at the end of the day, by the way. That's what that pause was for right there, in case you missed that. If you didn't, don't worry about it. If you did, don't worry about it. Someone, you got to remove this for me. We can't build this right here. Help out a guy. Someone do the work over here on this thing. I am so far behind on everything. Don't worry, we will get there eventually. Someone will come build these sleeping bags and remove that silly thing, and then everyone will have a place to sleep and it'll be fine. As I kind of mentioned earlier, I changed a few of the settings that we have in terms of the stuff we took. The game normally starts you off with a couple of spears. We have no weaponry right now. You normally start off with 8 people. You can change that. You can start off with more people. You can start off with fewer people. The thing to keep in mind is if you have more people, you need more resources for them. You need more food, you need more water. If you don't have as many people, well, then it's not as big a deal in that specific sense. Of course, the antithesis to that, or rather the flip side, is that the more people you have, the more things you can collect. Man, we really need a research station. We got to get that going too. Let's put storage down first. That box is so just stupidly full. Let's get these rolling over here. I should mention too that the devs in the game kind of give you some general ideas of things you should do by way of, there's no tutorial in the game itself, but there is a little bit of a written tutorial that'll kind of help you get started on your playthrough. There's going to be a link in the description to that. So don't fret too much. If you play the game and you start to go, I don't know what in the world I'm doing, don't worry. They help you out a little bit. They're working on the tutorial right now. It's a small team, and I mean that. It's legitimately a small team, so it's not like there are a ton of people making this game. There's not tons of time in the world for them to do all the things that you might think, that should have been done. And I don't necessarily disagree that the tutorial should be ready, but there's a big written one, so it goes through a lot of things, and I think it does a pretty decent job. And in fact, I'm referring to a little of it for some of these things because those are the dev suggestions, and I'm trying them out because I did things my own way to varying success or failure, if I'm just going to be honest. Let's get a crafting station going so that we can make some weapons. We're going to pop that guy down right there. I think what's happening now is they're building the forges because they finally have all the stone. Remember we queued up a bunch of stone for removal? I'm going to queue up a few more of these guys. We're going to need them anyway. Let's do that. I don't know, is there a shortcut key for these? I don't know if there is, because I would like to hit that if there is. R. What does R do? I bet R is the shortcut key. I should probably go into the settings and I could tell you. Input. There they are. Look at that. Just like that. Who knew? Raise R. Perfect. Done. Great. Let's keep playing. So you guys are going to take care of that. We should probably get this thing going. I didn't mean to click on a person. Let's add a job. We're going to add... burn wood into coal. So we're going to add, say, 10 instances of that. You can put this on infinite repeat and just basically keep it going, but I don't know that we have enough wood and that sort of stuff to do that, so I don't really want to do that just yet. We're going to add the smelt bar. We're going to add 10 instances of that. As soon as someone finds a little more wood, we will continue on with that. Let's go ahead and raise these guys. So we're going to knock down these trees for wood, and we'll probably need to raise those as well. There are other things we can raise, of course. We can go into all these other houses and knock them down. I do want to set these up. Oh, man, they already did it. Dang it, you guys were too quick. My bad. Here, I want to knock these guys down so they only hold certain things. And, of course, we're going to need to build more storage. But I just want this to kind of become the kitchen area so that it's only able to hold the things we want in there specifically. So there you go. That's going to transfer over here. As best I can tell, a lot of this stuff just kind of moves on its own. Like, it just kind of transfers from one... Oh, shoot. From one cargo area to another on its own. So, much like Rimworld, much like Dwarf Fortress, you're going to have random events happening. This is a recruitment. A few travelers have entered your territory. They are looking for a place to stay and asking if they could join your group. So we have Deborah Cologne here, who is a doctor. Oh, she is a kick-butt doctor. Look at that. She's not necessarily great at anything else. And we have Eduardo over here, who is a kick-butt farmer. Oh, my gosh. If we take these people, we're going to go through the meals super fast. We do still have 10 potato seeds that have not been planted. I'm going to take a risk here. I'm going to take Eduardo. I'm not sure that I want to take Deborah, though. I mean, we're going to need a doctor at some point, but oh, shoot. All right, we're going to take the risk. We're going to recruit both of them. I'm going to pause the game here. Of course, you can pause the game at any time, so don't be afraid to do that. We're going to add another farm. So we have, let's see, 1, 2, that's 10 right there. I should probably tell you, too, that I'm an idiot, and I forgot to change the seeds on that to potato seeds, so let's do that. And then this one needs to be set to potato seeds. I have completely set us back massively in time. My bad. Let's raise the existing. We're going to get rid of those things so we can plant some crops. We're going to need to go back into our job things, and let's see. So farming skill, we definitely want Eduardo doing that. Deborah is actually a better... Wow, all right, we're going to change our jobs around. So we're going to take you off of farming. So we're going to have 3 people that are on farming. I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to go further into this. Eduardo, your job, wherever you are, when you make it over here, let's disable everything except for farming. You live to farm. The end. Thank you. Deborah, let's check out your jobs. We're going to disable most everything. She must be a pacifist because she's not allowed to do military. We're going to give you farming and medical, and that should be fine. So let's just check out her character sheet. Yep, she's a pacifist. So again, much like Rimworld, you have things where certain characters can and cannot do various things. We haven't talked about that much, so why don't we take a moment to do that? Let's take a look at Maddie, and we can look at his or her character sheet, her sheet. So she's melancholic, so mood changes, but she's clever, so she gets plus 15 intelligence, or has 15 intelligence. I don't know. That sounds pretty good to me. She's probably good at science and researching and all that jazz, but anyway, let's not worry about this. It is evening. This has been created. This, of course, is the crafting station. We're going to need to make some weapons, so why don't we start off with some spears? We're going to add... let's do 5 spears for right now. That'll be fine. Gosh, I hope. We can pull up our inventory here. My bad. It's running an auto save right as I'm trying to pull that up. I just want to see what we have going on. 27 wood. It's going to take a little bit of wood to make that. This guy is going... We've done quite a few of those. Well, we've done a couple of them. They're smelting that stuff. They're smelting. All that is good. We need to... Oh, man. There are so many things we need to be doing, and I'm terrible at this. I get so sidetracked on X, Y, and Z that I miss Q. We're going to put a crafting station down. We are going to put a kitchen down because we need to be ready for this once we actually have food ready to go. Oh my goodness, so many things to do. I'm going to add one more storage box. We're going to put another free one in here, and we're going to have to let that be built. Beulah is now depressed. Yeah, we need to build some entertainment structures. You're absolutely right, game. We cannot build entertainment structures because we don't have a way to do that yet. It hasn't rained, so we don't have water. Oh, we have so many problems. We need to research. Let us research masonry. That's going to be one of the most important things you need to research. I clicked too fast. I apologize for that. The reason why you want to do research on masonry right away is it's going to give you an option to build a well. So if you're unlucky like we are right now and you don't have rain coming in, you need to get masonry research started immediately so that you can build a well. You also probably want to research carpentry so you can build some additional stuff too. Look at that. Now Lena's depressed. Oh, crud. The problem is when they get depressed, they don't do a whole lot. They kind of start working at a crappy rate, and things just don't go well. It's not good. All right, that one is done. Let's take off all of these things. We don't want all that stuff in there. We can... I don't remember. Did we leave medical? I don't remember if that one has medical. It does not. I want to add a box somewhere just for weapon storage, so let's set this inventory to just be weapons, so that theoretically, once we have some weapons built, they will drop them off in there. There is an essence of hauling, so don't think there is no hauling. It's just weird the way cargo kind of transfers. I don't entirely pretend to understand how that works. All of these guys are used. Holy crap, man. That won't be the case for very long. Just, you can trust me on that. Another thing I'm not entirely certain of is, do you need space to walk around? Because, as I said, there is still an element of retrieving stuff out of boxes. Do you need space to walk around? I don't know. I'm going to err on the side of caution and build those so that we have space like that. This is not done. Let's go back to who is doing the researching thing here. Let's change our skill over to science. Who does the science-y things? Oh, these people. Stacy, you should not be doing science. You're terrible at it. Let's go back to this guy. Daryl, Letha. Letha, I think, would be okay, except Letha is probably depressed. Yeah, they're really depressed. What do we have for food right now? Do we have any meals? We are running low on meals. Holy crap. All right. So when you start running low on meals, this is what you do. You go raise another kitchen and you cross your fingers. I don't know if it'll work out. I hope so. We're going to queue up probably another kitchen somewhere. I think that would be another kitchen right here. I'm trying not to go too far out. I don't want everyone to have to be running too far, and yet I don't know what else to do. We'll just roll with it. These guys, I don't want food stuff in there, so we'll just turn these off. I don't know if there's a quick way to do this, like group select all these things. That would be excellent if so. I don't think there is, but that's okay. I imagine some of the nice stuff like that will come along eventually. It's just, this game is pretty early on in its development cycle, so can't necessarily expect everything to be there, even if you might want it. But, you know, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Like I said, I do think some of this stuff, like some of the management and bringing up the info, is a little clunky to me, but it's what we have right now. I wouldn't let it stop me from playing, but it would definitely make things go a little nicer if some of that stuff functioned just a little differently. Here's a great example of, right there, canned meals. So you can't tell that's what that is, and you'll have to trust me on that. But by way of dismantling this particular kitchen, we found some canned meals just lying around. That's what that is. So the folks are eventually going to grab that. They'll add that to their storage pile, which is going to be these boxes over here. And we'll have some canned meals to play with. I really wish they would hurry up on the researching. That is driving me nuts. And I don't want to force people over here, but this is the thing that I have personally struggled with, is depression. In terms of the game, I have real problems with that. Hey, there's some dirty water. Look at that. That's pretty awesome. We're going to need that. I'm going to add a campfire, and we're going to put that right... let's put that right here. Like maybe... well, let's just put it in the corner. We're going to eventually dismantle this stuff. It's just... we technically still need more food, and I know. They need food. They're hungry. They don't have meals. You guys, you'll be fine. Go to bed hungry, and you'll wake up no longer hungry, because someone will finish destroying all these kitchens and find more food. I hope. I also hope the potatoes are ready soon. Had I remembered to change the seeds, the potatoes would be ready by now, and we would be good. But someone's an idiot and forgot to change the seeds. Oh, well. I mean, and I know you have to do that. That's the thing. I know you have to do that, and I totally forgot about it. Whatever. It is what it is. The research is almost done there. The reason why we need this, by the way, is we need to cook water. So if we look in the inventory right now, I think they might have moved a bunch of dirty water in. Yeah. See, there we go. We're at 6 dirty water. It's not a lot. There's some 4 canned food, so there's a little bit of food. There's still some water for everyone to drink. Theoretically, this will catch water. I don't understand why sometimes when it's raining, these will have water going into them, other ones won't. I suspect you might want to build more than 2. Maybe build 3. Don't rely on just a single one. I really do suspect that's not a good way to go. I'm going to set up another kitchen to dismantle. I'm going to hope whoever you are, you're Lena. What's your character sheet look like? Intelligence 63, I have no idea if that's good. You're not great at sciencing, but you know what? You're doing the job, which is more than I can say for other people. You're doing the work, and that's going to have to be fine. All right, so that has been built. We can now add a job to this of boiling dirty water. So it's going to take 2 dirty water to get 5 purified water. And we don't really have that much right now, but theoretically we'll get someone to do that. One of the things I have noticed is this boiling process takes a long time. You might need 2 campfires to get it all done. I'm not 100% sure about that. I'm a little concerned that 1 isn't going to be sufficient, so just something to keep in mind. You'll have to let me know what your experience is, if that is enough or if it's not. I'm not 100% sure about that. Hey, it looks like we have a spear done. We have 2 spears done. None of them are stored in there, which is excellent. So I'm going to grab a person here. We're going to go to the military skill. Stacy Mejia, can we assign a weapon to you? We might not have... There we go. We'll assign a simple spear to you. And then we'll find Letha Beasley. And we're going to assign, if I can click on the right things, a spear to you. So they will eventually pick up spears and they'll be armed and they'll be fine. They'll run over and grab these spears. Like, that must be... Eduardo must be storing that spear, I think. Because he has it equipped right now. I think he's going to drop it off. I don't know. You're not supposed to be holding on to that, buddy. Don't make a liar out of me. Oh, you're so close to finishing that. Just finish it so I can move along with other things, because everyone is depressed and we need some entertainment in this place. We also need a functional well so that we have water you can all drink. Hooray! Research completed. That's what that little song was. So the one we're going to do next is Carpentry, so that we can have a playing card table. That's going to give them a source of entertainment. With a little luck, that will help with their depression. But for right now, they really need food. So I am super duper hopeful that they start pulling potatoes out of the ground here in a hurry, because that needs to be done like... It just needed to be done a long time ago. I don't even know what else to say to that. Someone screwed up. My bad. We'll figure it out. We're going to need the coal for other things. We have a little bit of that at least. We're going to need a little more. Where are we at with wood? Did we run out of wood? We still have 101. We have a crap ton of wood. We are fine with that. We might need more leather, though. Anyway, that's where we're going to have to wrap it up for right now. I will catch you in the next one. Until then, thanks for watching. See you later.